Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joel Villafana, and I am once again delighted to be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. Welcome to what is the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee's 23rd Annual Gala Awards. A very special welcome to Their Excellencies, Mr. Justice Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, SC, and Mrs. Rima Carmona. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Bridget Anisette George and Mr. Newman George. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Justice Malcolm Holdip. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Esmond Ford. Secretary of the Sport and Youth Affairs in Tobago House of Assembly, Assemblyman Jomo Pitt. His Worship, the Mayor of Port of Spain, Alderman Joel Martinez and Mrs. Martinez. Mr. Hazley Crawford, first Olympic gold medalist. Representatives of various ministries present. Representatives of the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Members of the Board of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee. Members of the national sporting organizations present here tonight. Trinidad and Tobago's athletes. Members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please allow me to read a very special message from Mr. Pere Miro, the Director of the International Olympic Committee Olympic Solidarity, before we begin proceedings tonight. Dear Mr. Lewis, we would like to congratulate the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee on its achievements over the years and in particular during the past year. This year's elections, due to the TTOC Executive Board, brought gender equality to the governance of your NOC with an even split of male and female officers. This was no coincidence, but as a result of a carefully implemented strategy demonstrated through the Future is Female campaign, which promotes women's involvement in numerous dimensions of sport. Such consistency is especially important these days with sport facing so many challenges, be it of economic or credibility in nature. It is sport built on Olympic values that combat crime, gang culture, and other problems surfacing every day. The IOC and Olympic Solidarity commends the relentless effort of the Trinidad and Tobago athletes, coaches, support officials, and administrators in their mission to promote sport, Olympism, and its values. We wish you a fulfilling and successful New Year 2018. A message from Mr. Pere Miro. So it makes absolutely no sense, ladies and gentlemen, to look ahead to 2018 without looking back at 2017. Here now is a look back and a preview of 2017 by the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee. it is time to get down to the brass tacks of the night. Our first speaker, a former Fatima College student, an ardent rugby enthusiast, but more importantly, a man that has challenged the status quo and has pushed the envelope in more ways than one within the Olympic movement, demonstrating innovation and creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, let me officially welcome to the platform the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, Mr. Brian Lewis.
His Excellencies, Mr. Justice Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, ORTTSC, and Mrs. Rima Carmona, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Bridget Anizet George and Mr. Newman George, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Secretary of Sport and Youth Affairs in the Tobago House of Assembly, Assemblyman Jomo Pitt, His Worship the Mayor of Port of Spain, Alderman Joel Martinez, Mr. Hazley Crawford, first Olympic gold medalist, Mrs. Nicolette Duke, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, representatives of various ministries, representatives of the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, members of the board of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, members of the National Sporting Organization, Team TTO athletes, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends, supporters. The Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, as you would have seen, have achieved a significant amount in the year 2017, facing at times insurmountable odds. Well, odds that at the beginning seemed insurmountable. Your Olympic Committee was charged with the responsibility to deliver for Team TTO athletes, for the youth and young people of Trinidad and Tobago, who, in the main, wanted to hear no excuses. The fact that the economy was in a deep recession, the fact that the TTOC target to be able to satisfy in some way all our stakeholders, even in a context of making hard decisions, require $10 million or more annually. An intimidating figure in this difficult economic time. But thanks to the support of a hardworking staff, a creative and innovative marketing department, dedicated corporate partners, supporters, athletes, coaches, administrators, we were able, to the best of our ability, to support as many of the athletes as we could have under the circumstances. We launched Future is Female. We walked the marathon. We launched a program called Next Champion, where we went into at-risk communities, and the plan is to go into rural communities. We continued the Sport Industry TT conference, which is targeted at fostering and being the catalyst for a sustainable sport industry by the year 2030. We continued resolutely progressing 10 goals by 2024. We were faced with a number of challenges, but refused to accept any limits as we sought to drive a big vision for Team TTO, a vision that was built on an undying love and the passion for Trinidad and Tobago, for the society of Trinidad and Tobago, a passion and a commitment and a dedication that will continue in the year 2018. Why? Why? because we have the power of conviction. We believe not so much in the performance of our people, but in their potential. We value the contribution, the commitment, and the dedication of our athletes, our coaches, our administrators, our sport ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much more we can do. And when I say we, I mean all of us involved in sport. Each of you in this room here this evening. It is about moving from me to we. It is about embracing the fact that through sport, we can make a powerful difference to Trinidad and Tobago. It is about not just winning medals. It is not just about ensuring that our athletes receive the support that they need. It is not just about asking for, but giving more. It is about replacing guns by medals. It is about replacing guns and crime and the growth of crime by productive, progressive citizens through the power of sport. 2018 will present significant challenges. But I give you the assurance that working together, we will all contribute in making Trinidad and Tobago a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not relent. The times are tough. The hill is high, but our indomitable will, our commitment, our dedication, our love for Trinidad and Tobago will propel us. Remember, the power of conviction requires character. We are a people of character. We are a people of creativity and innovation. Let us not relent. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support in 2017 and God's blessings for 2018.
It is now down to the business of the night, the awards for 2017. The Junior Sportsman and Sportswoman Award is given to the outstanding achievements in a competition during the year by an individual under the age of 20 years. The nominee excelled or was the outstanding performer in an Olympic discipline. First up, the Junior Sportsman of the Year Award, and we'd like to call Ms. Nicolette Duke, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, to present this award. Thank you very much. You are doing the honors of opening and announcing tonight.
2017 Junior Sportsman is Adele Colthurst.
Adele Coltrust, thank you very much. Staying with us for the Junior Sportswoman of the Year Award. Congratulations to Adele, the Junior Sportswoman of the Year Award.
Miss Khalifa Sinfort.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Khalifa Sinfort, the Junior Sportswoman of 2017. Can we have, I understand that she's not present tonight, can we have the president of the N3 is Mr. Ephraim Serrett collect on her behalf? Thank you very much, Madam Permanent Secretary. And congratulations to Khalifa Sinfort. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alexander B. Chapman Award is considered a notably prestigious award by the TTOC. As Mr. Alexander Chapman makes his way to the stage, we invite the patron of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, His Excellency President Anthony Carmona, to join Mr. Chapman on stage for the announcement and presentation of this most prestigious award, Your Excellency. Mr. Chapman is an honorary life member of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, an honorary vice president of the Central American and Caribbean Sports Organization, and a life vice president of the Commonwealth Games Federation. We are indeed honored to have Mr. Chapman here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the 2017 Alexander B. Chapman Award is Mr. Anthony Dada Wickham. And congratulations to Dada Wickham. Ladies and gentlemen, keep clapping. Let's honor our first three awardees tonight with a lusty round of applause. Adele Coltrust, the Junior Sportswoman Man of the Year. Khalifa Sinfort, the Junior Sportswoman of the Year. And Anthony Wickham, the recipient of our Alex Chapman Award tonight. a former captain of the national team and multiplayer in the year of water polo. He was the first athlete to qualify in judo for the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, and also a four-time national champion, winning medals at the Central American Championship and other regional games. A chartered engineer and a lawyer in the jurisdiction of Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite Mr. Christopher George to deliver tonight's feature address.
Their Excellencies, Mr. Justice Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, Senior Counsel, and Mrs. Rima Carmona, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Bridget Anisette George and Mr. Newman George, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Esmond Ford, Secretary of Sport and Youth Affairs in the Tobago House of Assembly, Assemblyman Jomo Pitt, His Worship the Mayor of Port of Spain, Alderman Joel Martinez and Miss Martinez, Mr. Hazley Crawford, first Olympic gold medalist, representatives of various ministries, representatives of the Sport Company of Trinidad and Tobago, members of the board of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, members of the national sporting organizations, Trinidad and Tobago athletes, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. In this festive season, tradition is something we often reflect upon. Traditions are our customs or our beliefs and are passed from generation to generation. Sometimes our culture works hard to prevent change, and at times it takes individuals with indomitable spirit to lead and inspire us. As athletes, we are very often these change agents. We are social architects. As social architects, we strengthen our traditions and many times change them. We must recognize and accept this responsibility. Collectively, we are a tribe, and we must stand together. The athlete tradition is one of discipline. Mine started as a young swimmer, 9 years old, making my first national team. It was the Caribbean Island Swimming Championships. The popular song as the national team ventured to the games was "Walk like a champion, talk like a champion." I did not recognize then, but I was joining a tradition of excellence. But this tradition also has a strange dichotomy. It has two contrasting sides, one of extreme positivity and another which was overly critical of an athlete's achievement and development. We take young kids, thrust them into 5 a.m. training sessions, we expose them to the intensity of academic tutelage, and in our twin islands, we preach excellence. Then again, in the afternoon, we have our young children at their sport, toiling away with dreams of Olympic greatness. This was my story, and I'm sure it was one shared by every one of my fellow sportsmen. Excellence is not a singular act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is the team of Wendell Motley, Kent Bernard, Edwin Roberts, Edwin Skinner, winning bronze in the 4x400 in the 1964 Tokyo Games. Excellence is Hazley Crawford on his gold medal winning performance in 1976 in Montreal. Excellence is Keyshawn Walcott winning gold in 2012 and winning a bronze in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. Excellence is Jaren Solomon, Rene Kwao, Doreen Richards, Marshall Cedeno, and Lalonde Gordon overhauling the US to win a breathtaking final at the 2017 World Athletic Championships. I would like to pause here and ask if you could give these guys a round of applause. We are all thankful for their commitment and example of excellence. This is our proud tradition. Jesse Owens, four-time Olympic medalist, once said, "In the end, it's extra effort that separates a winner from second place. But winning takes a lot more than that, too. It starts with complete command of the fundamentals. Then it takes desire, determination, discipline, and self-sacrifice. And finally, it takes a great deal of love, fairness, and respect for your fellow man. Put all these together, and even if you don't win, how can you lose?" Our sporting culture in Trinidad and Tobago is strange and tenuous at times. Even with this long-standing tradition and history of excellence, we as Trinbagonians are still not confident in our own ability. We often have a population which is critical of missteps of athletes and too easily forgets that there is a process to be a champion. It's not only the will to win that matters. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that matters. We as a country have these shining moments, and the highs are often intoxicating. We get on the bandwagon of success and sometimes forget the hard work that individuals need to put in to achieve these moments of excellence. We don't have all the support we should have, and we often show frustration with this reality. We as a group, as a tribe, need to recognize that the only instrument of change that we have is ourselves, both individually and collectively. Standing here, I can't claim to have the pill that cures this negative habit of Trinbagonians. But I know that we as athletes need to take in our hands the only control that we have to be leaders. We need to be tenacious. We have to learn to take our knocks and get back up every single time. We have to constantly remind Trinidad and Tobago what our tradition is. And finally, we need to accept our responsibility as ambassadors and as leaders. We must show what needs to be done. The question you may ask is, how do we do this? What I offer is simple: transition, pivot, and build our tribes. Almost every successful person begins with two beliefs. One, that the future can be better than the present, and that I or we have the power to make it so. Two things define us as athletes: our patience when we have nothing, and our attitude when we have everything. We can get frustrated with the process, our circumstance, our environments, our expectations of others and ourselves, but persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement. Who we are is the work that we put in when no one is looking. Our skill and foremost our positive attitude are essential, yet often we do not believe that we have the authority to do what we need to be great. I recently had a conversation with a young taekwondo player who felt that he needed specific things to become a national athlete. At that point, I shared my personal story. In 2012, I needed to make a decision on if I wanted to continue doing high-level sport. I had played water polo, representing the country in different age groups through our senior national team, and played for over 15 years. The team had qualified for the regional Olympic qualification event, the Pan American Games, but did not get to go because there was little belief that we could eventually qualify for the Olympics. This frustrated me. And to most, it would have seemed to be a failure of sorts, but I still had the competitive fire. I decided to pivot. I started a completely new sport. I did not see this as a new beginning, but a pivot, a transition. No one from Trinidad and Tobago had ever qualified for the Olympics in the sport of judo, and I saw an opportunity while everyone else saw a hindrance. In 2015, I qualified for the Pan American Games in Toronto and competed. In 2016, I qualified and competed in the Olympics. The rest, as they say, is history. In life, authority to be great is not needed. In fact, sometimes authority can get in the way. What this showed me is that tradition remains alive only when we struggle with it. And this is why we must always pivot. If something is not working, we need to have the ability to let it go. Transition is a natural evolution. Transition is change. Change is a challenge and an opportunity. It allows us to strengthen our traditions. We have to be humble and submit to this process and become change agents. Winston Churchill once said, "To each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing, unique to them and fitted to their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour." In sport, as it is in life, we need a little luck, but when the opportunity arises, we need to be prepared. So the second part, how do we pivot? How do we change? The answer quite simply is, we build a team of individuals to help us. A tribe is a group of people connected to one another, connected to a leader, and connected to an idea. For millions of years, human beings have been part of one tribe or another. A group needs only two things to be a tribe: a shared interest and a way to communicate. An individual's first tribe is their family. Our parents, grandparents, and loved ones know our dreams because they have been with us every step of the way. What we need to do is learn how to communicate with others to build the foundations of our tribe. The components of this framework includes positivity, sharing ideas, uplifting others, encouraging those who are going through the same process, and sometimes without even knowing it, inspiring others to begin their own journeys. Our tribes thrive when we network. My tribe was Build a Champion, TT. Build a Champion consisted of my beautiful wife, Shenley George, my father, Brian George, my mother, Ann George, my brother, Matthew George, 200 or more individual supporters, my alma mater, Queens Royal College, my university, Georgia Institute of Technology, my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Judo Trinidad and Tobago, and the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee. I think many of us don't recognize how big our circle actually is. When you share an idea, you bring people together. We need to use the tools we have and not be afraid of being judged. Let's all share ideas. Let's all come together. Let's all support one another. Great leaders don't try to please everyone. Great leaders don't water down their message in order to make the tribe a bit bigger. Instead, they realize that a motivated, connected tribe in the midst of a movement is far more powerful than a larger group could ever be. Remarkable visions and genuine insights are always met with resistance. And you start to make progress, and when you start to make progress, your efforts are met with even more resistance. Products, services, career paths, sports, whatever it is, the forces for mediocrity will align to stop you, forgiving no errors and never backing until it's over. If it were any other way, it would be easy. And if it were any other way, everyone would do it, and your work would ultimately be devalued. The yin and yang are clear. Without people pushing against your quest to do something worth talking about, it's unlikely to be worth the journey. The message I have for you is through recognizing our traditions, constantly pivoting, and building our tribes, we can be great. All we need to do is endure and persevere.
Ladies and gentlemen, the inspirational Christopher George. So, we had to have some fun on social media tonight. I am placing 2 pictures on screen. And those 2 pictures, if you recognize yourself, you can stand. Because it means that you were voted best dressed male and female tonight. Mr. Lewis, you'll try again next year, okay? All right, let's resume the presentation of the awards tonight. We ask our featured speaker, Mr. Christopher George, to rejoin us on stage to do us the honor of presenting the People's Choice Award. This award was chosen by members of the public via online and social media voting.
And the recipient of the 2017 People's Choice Awards is Jareem Richards.
Ladies and gentlemen, quarter miler Jareem Richards, your People's Choice Award. Congratulations, Jareem, and thank you very much, Christopher. Now we move on to our Sport Personality of the Year award. And I now invite His Worship the Mayor of Port of Spain, Alderman Joel Martinez. The Sport Personality of the Year award is for an individual, whether it be coach, player, or administrator, whose contribution during the year was pivotal to the outstanding sporting achievement of an affiliate. Mr. Martinez, I give you the honor.
The recipient of the 2017 Sports Personality Award is Akeem Stewart.
An innovation by the TTOC this year. The award is called Future is Female. I would like to call the Honorable Bridget Anisette George to present this award. Ms. Bridget Anisette George, a former attorney, and she is the 3rd woman to serve as Speaker of the House in the history of this country. The Future is Female Award will celebrate the leadership of an individual, team, or organization who demonstrates outstanding commitment to the encouragement, development, and motivation of women in sport. The award also draws attention to valuable contributions, showcasing women in a positive and progressive way, or being a spokesperson for or an advocate for the prominence of women in the sporting world. Thank you very much, my lady. You have the privilege of announcing this very first award.
The honor is mine. The recipient of the 2017 Future is Female Award is Marissa Aguilera.
Ladies and gentlemen, female cricketer Marissa Aguilera, our inaugural Future is Female awardee tonight. Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year 2017. It is now time to reveal these two prestigious awards. Nominees should have excelled or have been outstanding performers in an Olympic discipline where such activity is capable of being assessed by measurement, or international, regional high achievement may be given greater weight than achievement of medals in the competition. I would like now to invite the President of the Olympic Committee, Mr. Brian Lewis, to come forward to present these two awards. Mr. Lewis.
The 2017 sportswoman is Michelle Lee Ahi.
And this beautiful lady is the mother of Michelle Lee Ahi. Mr. Lewis remains for the Sportsman of the Year. You have the honor once again, sir.
The 2017 Sportsman is Team TTO 4x400 meter men's relay team.